welcome back to the third episode of the Ben and Al Show. I'm your host, Albert, uh, joined today with a guest, our first guest on the show. He goes by Kess on Twitter. I'm not really sure his full handle. We can kind of get that sorted later. Give him a shout out as well. So yeah, Kess, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and also let us know how you kind of got into trading as well, because something that I'm sure everyone wants to know.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. My name's Kess. My Twitter handle is KessInvesting. We can clear that up right now.
Yeah, there you go.
How I got started in trading? And it obviously, back in 2020, with the crash, everybody was kind of starting to hop into the market, and that's when I really initially started to get into it because my friends were like, "Oh, Kess, it's free money basically to buy now when everything's dead," and I'm like, you know what, can't go wrong with some free money, so. I started then and instantly fell in love with it after I lost everything. So that's
It was
basically
not
how.
free.
No, it wasn't really free money. So that I kind of like made it my mission to become the best I could be at it, and make up for everything that I've lost, and help everybody learn with me, I guess, and join my journey.
It's very cool. So Kess, you started in the COVID. Did you catch CCIV? That was pretty much anybody who started back then. That was like their biggest play ever.
My biggest play, believe it or not, back then was Nicola. I was one of the early players in Nicola.
Oh no.
I wrote that from the bottom to what they had, like 92 or something like that.
From the bottom to the top and all the way back down to the bottom.
No, I sold that top. I sold top.
Okay.
I sold top.
I know a lot of people that did not, because they thought it was going to go to what was the price targets floating around? A couple $100.
Couple hundred. And then I got
200.
but I did buy top of Hylian. So that was one of my biggest losses. My biggest gains was a shill EV company, and my biggest loss was another shill EV company. So
kind of evens out.
Yeah.
So, we've been following each other for a long time, actually. Me and you, I believe. For not a long time, but
a decent amount of time.
Decent amount of time, I think.
For sure.
But you stopped. You fell off Twitter for a little while, and then came back out of nowhere, and now look at you, all big and bad.
Yeah. It was starting to become a lot to me. It's not really all the hype and glory that a lot of people on Twitter make it out to be, like all the big names. It's stressful, and especially when you're a younger kid and you're just getting started into trading, and all of a sudden your follow count starts building up. It adds a lot of stress, and that was just one thing that really got to me, and I had to take a step away and focus on my mental health.
Very smart. Yeah, Twitter is actually it's a very busy thing to have.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It's a lot to keep up with, especially once it becomes an obligation. It's nice, but it's like a second hobby or a second job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so from kind of hearing your, I guess, the story of starting out, it seems like we are kind of a little bit similar to how I began, at least, and kind of have some similarities there. I think we're also around the same age as well, so we both kind of started learning kind of from hearing from friends and social media and whatnot in this kind of new, I guess, era. But what do you think that you kind of, or who do you think you kind of looked up to in the maybe Twitter space, or any books or anything that, or just any trader in general that you kind of looked up to that maybe helped you develop your style or whatever personality you kind of have towards trading?
Sure. The big two really were GAA options and at charting options. Charting options, I really liked him in the beginning because I learned a lot about charting and technical analysis from him, and then really how to like build a chart and play it. And GAA, I just really liked his trigger style of riding momentum plays and playing trends and playing trigger breaks and stuff like that. So those two are probably the biggest influences on me pretty early on, I'd have to say.
Yeah, so it seems like we all of us kind of fin Twitters, I guess, in the option space, all of us that kind of, I guess, know each other. We all have kind of the similar trading style, I would say, because me and Ben are very similar in our style. I guess that's
Unfortunately.
kind of just, unfortunately, I guess that's just kind of the influence of I guess in options trading, because I didn't really think about it. Like, I guess equity trading might be a little bit different. There's more strategy so you can kind of put into it, but with options trading, to me, I've really just kind of seen most people are just trading off of momentum and I guess pops and trying to take advantage of I guess the IV expansion on contracts and whatnot, which is very smart. I think it's a great strategy, but it's just something I noticed. I guess everyone's kind of style is a little bit similar in the space that we're in, and I guess that's kind of from um from the people that you said, right? GAA, Charting Options, and a couple of the other people who've been around the space for a while. They kind of set that style, and everyone's kind of been learning um from them and whatnot. So yeah.
Absolutely. I
Um,
think with the market conditions too, in the past, year and a half, it's been a lot easier to play that sort of style. So I think that's where a lot of those guys started to pick up a lot of the following as well, and their style started to get recognized because that was, the style to play the market with.
yeah, absolutely. And well, now some people are getting pretty hurt following that style in some ways because of with the amount of fake outs that we've been getting and
Absolutely,
whatnot. Yeah.
absolutely.
But also you started your own small account challenge, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I did.
You want to tell us a little bit about that, your end goals, maybe some tips and tricks along the way for other people that are
Yeah,
thinking about doing
absolutely.
that?
Absolutely. So I basically did it as like a thank you for 10,000 followers, kind of just to help, because not everybody on Twitter is going to have, thousands of dollars to trade with every day. There's people that are working with a couple hundred. And, I wanted to be able to help as many people as I can work their way up in the investing world and kind of, understand how to manage their risk with not as much money as a lot of the other players on Twitter. So this way I can help teach different strategies and different risk managements without having to worry about losing a lot of capital, and slowly and consistently build a portfolio to something bigger than just, a couple $1,000.
Yeah,
Very
so
nice.
yeah, I was just gonna point out, small account challenges definitely very, very hard. I'm sure you're kind of realizing that already.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're kind of I guess over glorified on Twitter.
Yes.
And like the honest truth is it's very, very hard to trade with a smaller account. Especially following some of the people that are kind of trading with bigger accounts. It's gonna be really, really hard to be able to, I guess, hold a position for kind of the maximum amount of time, like through the play and follow your plan all the way
Hmm.
out because you just don't have enough, I guess, leverage and enough kind of space to have some leeway and like a cushion in case something goes wrong. So small
Absolutely.
accounts, extremely hard to play, just making sure everyone kind of um, gets the idea there because, like I said, they're definitely over glorified on Twitter, and a lot of people saying they're very easy to do. Definitely don't think that. We already had one of our last podcasts talking about the account challenge that I did. That was extremely hard. I already kind of talked about these smaller account challenges and how people kind of oversimplify them and make it seem easier than it actually is. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring that up because that's a big misconception that I see on Twitter.
Huge misconception. Yes. People also think it's for the like the value of the portfolio to grow. It's more as
More,
a
yeah.
learning experience. Yeah.
Right,
It's
exactly.
you
Yeah.
get the extra touches and extra screen time and you learn different things about yourself and about the market. It's not always about how fast you grow the portfolio or how much money you can make in one day or 1 week or 1 month. It's the consistent gains and smart plays that build up over time.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just to add on to what I was saying, I wasn't trying to say that you can't do something with the smaller account challenge, just kind of making it a little bit more realistic,
You're
but
just a hater.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, he
I'll just hate it.
is. Yeah.
I'll just hate
Kess, you
it.
can't do it, bro.
You're just
Just
a hater.
stop.
Don't trade unless you have $1 million. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, you definitely learn from it. That's how everyone kind of builds their confidence and experience and whatnot. You have to be trading to gain experience. I mean, paper trading, all that kind of stuff works, I guess, on paper, right? That's why it's paper trading. But if
Right.
you're really trying to gain experience and be able to actually trade and really make some money and be in the long term of option trading or just trading in general, equity trading, you want to get out there, trade. And obviously, with a smaller account, you can kind of start off and really kind of understand what type of trader you are, what works for you, what doesn't. And I think you can do something with a small account. Obviously, over time, you just kind of have to um, slow it down a bit and become consistent, I'd say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Kess, you're also in college, right? What are you going for?
Yeah. Going for business administration on a financial track.
Hmm.
So basically financial advising.
That's pretty cool. So you're going to become a real financial advisor.
Yeah, or just do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I mean,
but then you can put it in your bio.
I could.
Actually,
That
a
would be pretty
financial
cool.
advisor.
Instead of not financial advisor,
Yeah, I don't have
So
that.
this
do
is
you
Somebody's gonna
not
have
sue
financial
me.
advice.
do you have goals on getting into fund managing or anything like that, or are you trading for as a hobby right now? Like what are you planning, I guess, on? I mean, that's a hard question. Like no one knows exactly what they want to do, but
Right.
No.
what do you think you want to do in the future?
Um, to take it professionally would be pretty cool, but I'm just starting to really grow and really fall in love with the whole, the online appearance and the Twitter Furu image. And there's different ways you can monetize off of it, and you could have service and stuff like that, like you guys both have, and you both are incredible full-time traders. And I think that's basically what the end goal is no matter what I do, I just want to be trading stocks, whether it's for a giant fund or for myself, or I make a service, as long as I'm trading stocks and having a good time and and enjoying it, then that's all I really want with it.
Yeah, man, I feel that like growing a passion for anything in general and being able to do it for a living is really the goal in my opinion in life.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
money doesn't always mean everything, but if you can do something that makes you good money and you're doing what you love every single day, that's really the end goal. So that's why I really love trading. My opinion. I don't know
Absolutely.
about you guys, but I'm guessing that's the same thing.
Right.
Right, Ben?
Totally agree.
This is one of the few things that you can actually do. I mean, you can go open up a business and do whatever you like to do physically, but you won't have the freedom to be able to go do whatever you want to do. Like if you do this, you work for yourself and the market, of course, but if you have a physical business, a brick and mortar business, you can't just go and take off for 3 weeks and go, travel the states or travel another country and still be able to make money at your brick and mortar business without having to hire somebody. This is kind of like a unique, job to have,
Sure.
and that's what makes it so appealing to a lot of people. And that's why it's so popular to see people want to become full time in this. It's just not easy thing to do, and that's
Absolutely
why
not. Huge
statistically
misconception.
the market has to get paid. They don't pay themselves, right? So that's why statistically most people don't
Yeah.
succeed at it.
I
So
think the statistic is 90%.
right.
90% of people, I think at least day trading
Yeah,
don't
that's
make
exactly
money.
right.
And I think the reason for that is, I think the reason why day trading versus swing trading, people are getting caught more in kind of the day trading losses. I feel like they're forcing too many trades because if you are, I guess, a day trader, people think they need to trade every single day, but
Uh,
sometimes there's just not like optimal opportunities, and I think that's what really catches people off.
so once people realize that they can decipher when and when not to trade and be able to capitalize on the moments that they are supposed to be and go enjoy the times that they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, so Kess, what do you think you kind of did that started working for you? Like that you didn't do before, and also kind of what doesn't work for you, because I'm a big like proponent of telling people to journal trades and look over all their stuff, because you have to find exactly what works for you and your personality and whatnot. And
Yep.
I have a lot of people coming to me and kind of telling me, Albert, I'm struggling to find what works for me. I don't know what to do. I don't really like the style that you have. I want a different style. I don't like it's just not for me. And I tell them to find their own style by kind of getting experience and just going back and seeing exactly what works for them and what doesn't. And what do you think that was for you?
The one thing that really upped my game to a different level was ignoring all the noise that was coming in. and taking your own conviction and your own play. When I was able to just, kind of make my own decisions and trade the way I wanted to trade without, everybody in my ear saying this and saying that, or, people on Twitter, disagreeing, if you just block out the noise and trade your own style, that's the way that I kind of had the most success. And that was with, momentum trading, trigger breaks, and like playing like the first, like 15, 30 minutes open, and catching the momentum. What has, ironically stopped working for me is playing the first 15 and 30 minutes momentum, because, we're starting to see all these big moves in the morning sell off, or all the big dips, bought back. And it's a bit of an adjustment, but like you said, when you journal and you kind of start to, see patterns in your trades and what's working and what's not working, then it makes it way easier to kind of weed out the good plays and the bad plays in your game, and make smarter decisions day in and day out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a big point that you brought up, that you kind of adjusted with how the market was moving, because obviously before 2020, I guess early 2021, we kind of had more of a momentum market. So anytime first 15, 30 minutes, you're getting pretty strong moves on pretty good volume and
Right.
some good follow through as well. But obviously now we're kind of seeing a little bit more of a fade, choppy-ish market. I guess we're still trending higher over time here, but moves are kind of getting faded out. Obviously because we just keep pushing up. So demand is running out. Sellers want to always come in, right?
Hmm.
And even vice versa. People aren't buying all the new lows and whatnot. So there's a lot of like back and forth here. And you need to know how to adjust. So always be able to adjust quickly. Obviously, sometimes it might take a little bit of time to adapt, but if you are able to really pinpoint what is kind of happening in the market, that is very important. Adapt. That's a big thing that I wanted to touch on, because a lot of people get caught in in kind of I guess the reminiscence of an older market, right? And they're kind of
Right.
trying to trade something that isn't really happening anymore. So definitely
Absolutely.
definitely look to adapt, and I think that was a great point.
I think also, when you brought up about drowning out the noise, that's like the biggest thing that a lot of people struggle with. I believe they let other people's opinions influence their trades or their trading style more than their own,
Yep.
plays or their own conviction, because they could see something. A new trader can see something, be like, hey, that looks nice, and then they'll go on Twitter and see the opposing thing, be like, well, maybe it isn't such a good idea, but then it
Yeah, that's
turns
the
out to
thing.
work. But I mean, nobody's right 100% of the time, but just because somebody else disagrees with you doesn't mean that you're wrong, right? So nothing's realized until it's actually, everything's unrealized until it's realized. Just like, profits in your portfolio are not realized until you cash them out, right? So um I think people need to have conviction in their own plays. I think that's the best way to build up confidence, and I think that's what a lot of people really struggle with, is confidence. So being able to build your own plays, being able to build off your own plays, I think that's a huge stepping stone for anybody that is really
Yep.
looking to build up anything.
Yep, I 100% agree with that. Um, all right, guys, I think that was great. Thanks for jumping on, Kess. Follow Kess at, I think, Kess Investing. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Kess
Okay.
Investing.
Yeah, follow him there. And then obviously follow me and and Benjamin.
Whoa.
Um, oh,
Full
whoa,
names.
whole lot of names. All right. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. We'll be having more guests on. And again, thank you to Kess for jumping on.
Yeah.
And
Thanks
we'll
for having
see
me,
you
guys.
guys on the next episode. See you later.